Opening. Ever wondered how dynamic web content is created using Java? If you have, you're in the right place. Today we're delving into the world of servlets and JavaServer Pages, commonly known as JSP, two core technologies used in web development with Java. They're integral components of the Java Enterprise Edition platform, or Java EE for short, a robust environment designed for crafting enterprise-level web applications. But let's break this down a bit further. Servlets are essentially Java classes that give a web server the power to generate dynamic content and respond to client requests. They're deployed directly on a web server, and their job is to handle HTTP requests and responses. Whether it's processing form data, interacting with databases, or generating dynamic HTML content, servlets are up to the task. They're platform independent, meaning they can run on any server that supports the Java Servlet API. And just like any good story, servlets follow a lifecycle: initialization, request handling, and finally, destruction. Now let's turn to JavaServer Pages, or JSP. This technology streamlines the process of creating dynamic web pages using Java. JSP pages are essentially HTML pages that contain embedded Java code, typically enclosed within %% or %= tags. These pages are compiled into servlets by the web container at runtime, making them executable on the server. This allows JSP pages to include both static content, like HTML or XML, and dynamic content generated by Java code. In essence, JSP simplifies the fusion of presentation logic, which is your HTML markup, with business logic, your Java code, making web development more efficient and maintainable. In a nutshell, while servlets are Java classes that handle HTTP requests and generate dynamic content programmatically, JSP allows for the creation of dynamic web pages using a blend of HTML and Java code. But don't be fooled into thinking it's a competition. In fact, servlets and JSP often work together in harmony, each playing its unique role in the grand scheme of Java web applications. Closing. So, servlets and JSP are fundamental tools in Java web development. But how do they differ? Stay tuned as we explore this in the next scene. Let's dive into the world of servlets. Servlets are essentially Java classes that extend the functionality of a web server. They are the workhorses in the stable of Java web development, generating dynamic content and responding to client requests. Imagine a waiter at a restaurant. The customer, or client, places an order, and the waiter, our servlet, takes the order to the kitchen, processes it, and then delivers the result back to the customer. In the digital realm, this equivalent of the order could be a user searching for a book on an online store, and the servlet would be responsible for fetching the book details from the database and displaying them to the user. Servlets are deployed on a web server and handle HTTP requests and responses. This means that they act as an intermediary between the client's request and the server's response. They perform various tasks from processing form data, interacting with databases, to generating dynamic HTML content. Another fascinating aspect of servlets is their platform independence. They can run on any server that supports the Java Servlet API, giving them a universal appeal. Now, let's talk about the life cycle of a servlet. It consists of three main phases: initialization, request handling, and destruction. The initialization phase is when the servlet is loaded and initialized by the server. The request handling phase is the heart of the servlet's operation, where it processes client requests and generates responses. Finally, the destruction phase is when the servlet is taken out of service and cleaned up by the server. In essence, servlets offer a powerful mechanism for processing data and generating dynamic content. They are the backbone of many web applications, providing the server-side logic and processing power needed to deliver dynamic, interactive content to users. But how does JSP fit into this picture? Well, stay tuned as we unveil the magic of JavaServer Pages in the next scene. You'll see how these two technologies work hand in hand to create robust, scalable web applications. Now let's turn our attention to JavaServer Pages, or JSP. Picture this: a technology that simplifies the creation of dynamic web pages using Java. That's JSP for you, a gem in the crown of Java Enterprise Edition platform. What makes JSP stand out is its seamless blend of HTML and Java code. It's like having a cake and eating it too, as you get the best of both worlds: the simplicity of HTML and the power of Java. JSP pages are essentially HTML pages that have Java code embedded within them. How do we embed this Java code, you ask? Well, it's quite simple. We use special JSP tags typically enclosed within %% or %=% symbols. What these tags do is, they act as a conduit, a bridge if you will, between the HTML and the Java code, allowing them to work together harmoniously. But it doesn't stop there. JSP pages are compiled into servlets by the web container at runtime. This means they are not just static HTML pages. They are dynamic living entities that can be executed on the server, just like servlets. This is how JSP manages to deliver dynamic web content by turning static HTML into dynamic servlets. JSP pages can include both static content like HTML or XML and dynamic content generated by Java code. The static content provides the structure, the skeleton of the web page, while the dynamic content breathes life into it, making it interactive and responsive. And the best part, JSP simplifies the process of web development by allowing developers to focus on the presentation layer. No need to worry about the nitty-gritty details of low-level HTTP request handling. With JSP, you can concentrate on making your web pages look good and function smoothly. JSP therefore makes web development more efficient. Yet how does it differ from servlets? Servlets and JSP, two powerful tools, but how do they differ? To answer this, let's dive into the key differences and understand how each technology is suitable for different aspects of web development. First off, servlets are Java classes that handle HTTP requests and generate dynamic content programmatically. They provide more control and flexibility in request processing, and are typically used for complex server-side logic and handling of business operations. On the other hand, JavaServer Pages or JSP simplifies the process of creating dynamic web pages. JSP pages are HTML pages with embedded Java code, which are then compiled into servlets by the web container at runtime. This allows developers to focus on the presentation layer without the need to worry about low-level HTTP request handling. So, in essence, while servlets are all about control and flexibility, JSP is about simplification and efficiency. Servlets give you the power to control every aspect of your application's server-side logic. They excel in scenarios where you need to interact with databases, handle form data, or generate dynamic HTML content. On the flip side, JSP shines in delivering a smooth and efficient development process for creating dynamic web pages. By allowing developers to embed Java code directly into HTML pages, JSP makes it easier to combine presentation logic with business logic. However, it's important to note that servlets and JSP are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they often complement each other in real-world applications. You might find servlets handling the heavy lifting of business operations, while JSP takes care of presenting data and generating the HTML output. So, while servlets and JSP have their differences, they often work together in web applications. But how? Well, servlets can forward requests to JSP pages for rendering dynamic content, and JSP pages can include servlets for executing complex server-side logic. This combination provides an efficient and flexible approach to building dynamic, interactive, and scalable web applications. In conclusion, servlets and JSP each have their unique strengths and use cases. Together, they form a powerful duo that can cater to a wide range of web development needs. Servlets for business logic, JSP for presentation. But how do they work together? In the world of Java web application development, servlets and JSP are often used in harmony. Each plays a unique role, yet they integrate seamlessly to deliver dynamic, interactive web experiences. Consider servlets as the workhorses that handle the business logic and processing of requests. They're the problem solvers, the ones that interact with databases, process form data, and fulfill other server-side operations. On the other hand, JSP pages are the artists, focusing on presenting data and generating HTML output. They create dynamic web pages that incorporate both static and dynamic content. Now imagine a scenario where a servlet forwards a request to a JSP page for rendering dynamic content. The servlet does the heavy lifting, processes the request, and then hands it over to the JSP page for the final presentation. So servlets and JSP complement each other in web application development. But where do they run? Output. Servlets and JSP need a playground, and that's where the Java EE Web Container comes in. This powerful tool plays a crucial role in Java web development, providing a robust environment for servlets and JSP to operate. It's like the conductor of an orchestra, managing the lifecycle of servlets and JSP, from their initiation to their ultimate destruction. It doesn't stop there. The web container also handles HTTP requests and responses, ensuring smooth communication between the server and the client. But the Java EE web container has even more tricks up its sleeve. It offers services such as session management, security, and resource management, acting as a one-stop shop for all the needs of servlets and JSP. Imagine a world where all these tasks had to be done manually. Sounds exhausting, right? Thankfully, the Java EE web container has got our back. So servlets and JSP running within the Java EE web container form the backbone of Java web development.